More aggressive means? Hector and the rest of the Harmons were taken aback by Dustin's suggestion, and they all stared at him like he had gone out of his mind. He wanted to use more aggressive means against the Grants. Did he have a death wish? Dustin, if you have a death wish, that's all on you. Please do not implicate us, Jessica said sternly with a frown. From how she saw it, her daughter's rebellion and her publicly calling off the marriage were all because of Dustin, so she harbored some form of resentment toward him. Tyler Grant isn't an ordinary person. He has the smarts and the brawns, he's courageous and witty, and most importantly, he's got military ranks. It would be arduous to make him back off. Hector shook his head. Every man has his weaknesses. As long as I grab hold of his weakness, I'll be able to turn the tables. We've got 10 days left. I'll make sure that I smoothen everything out nicely. Dustin promised with certainty. Act within your means, boy. Don't push things, or you'll bring doom upon yourself, Hector warned him gravely. He was thankful to Dustin and did not wish to see him putting himself at risk. Rest assured, Mr. Harmon. I know what I'm doing. Dustin nodded. Dustin, why don't you stay at the Harmon Villa for the next few days? I don't think that Tyler would do anything over the top on our Turl, Natasha suggested. No. Natasha's suggestion elicited an immediate rejection from Jessica. It would make things immensely worse if the Grants were to find out that Dustin is staying here. Well, things have already fallen apart between us. Will this make any difference? Natasha raised a brow. The situation as of now is still salvageable, but if you continue provoking Tyler, then you're putting us all in grave danger, Jessica said sternly. With the power and authority the Grants possessed, they had infinite ways of making the Harmons lives a living hell. Mrs. Harmon's right. Now's not the time to be making enemies. It'd be best for us to keep a low profile for the next few days. Dustin nodded in agreement. It went without saying that he did not fear the Grants, but that did not mean that the Harmons did not fear them too. What if Tyler wants to kill you? Natasha frowned. Well, that'd be a wish come true. I haven't had the chance to loosen up for the longest time. I'd welcome a punching bag. Dustin chuckled. Hey, I'm being serious here. This is a grave matter. Natasha chided hullily. The Grants weren't part of the martial world, so they weren't bound by all the rules of the martial world. They had no qualms about killing someone off. Don't worry about me. Stay home and wait for my good news. Dustin soon left after setting Natasha at ease. Things weren't looking good for the Harmons. On the one hand, they had to deal with the Dark Lord, and on the other, the Grants. One was hiding, and the other was up on the surface. Neither one of them was easy to deal with. It would be a challenge for him to deal with both of them alone. He had to come up with a perfect strategy to settle everything. Did I really act too impulsively today, Dad? Natasha let out a sigh as she watched Dustin walk away. She had thought that she could anger Tyler into canceling the arrangement, but it turned out that not only did her plan not work, but she had also planted Dustin in a precarious position. She was sure Tyler would find all sorts of ways to make life difficult for him. You were pretty rash indeed, but what's happened has happened. There's no point dwelling on it any further. We'd be better off thinking about how to deal with it. Hector said thoughtfully. Why don't we go to Grandpa? Natasha asked warily. Why should we go to him? We, Harmons, do not need his help. Hector's expression turned cold. The usually calm and collected man suddenly lost his cool as though she had brought up something sensitive which should not have been mentioned. Natasha dared not speak anymore when she saw how agitated her father was. Standing by the side, Jessica sighed when she heard the conversation between them. It seemed almost impossible to bridge the gap between the two families. At the same time, over in the backseat of a luxurious car, Tyler leaned back into the seat. Even as he took a rest with his eyes closed, he exuded an air of danger. Tyler, that wretched girl Natasha is really too much. We need to bring her into line. Jayla sat beside Tyler, still indignant over Natasha's words. Her brother was such a remarkable person who was outstanding in every aspect. Natasha should have counted her blessings and thanked every deity she knew that he even wanted to marry her, but not only did she not appreciate him, She dared to call off the marriage alliance in front of such a crowd. This was humiliation through and through. Say something. Tyler. That bitch cheated on you. Are you really not pissed off by that? Jayla was even more disgruntled by Tyler's silence. His fiancée had cheated on him with another man and even got herself pregnant. This was something that would never sit well with any man. There's no point getting all worked up. Tyler said with indifference. I am not marrying Natasha because I like her. I only have my eyes on the potential she holds, so it matters not to me whether or not she's pregnant. Surely you can't be serious, Tyler. She cheated on you. Does that not matter to you? Jayla thought that her ears were playing tricks on her. I am only interested in results. I don't care what means it takes to achieve the results I'm after. I will marry Natasha, and that's final. Whoever dares stop me from getting what I want, I'll see to it that they die. Tyler's tone remained as detached as ever. You've changed, Tyler, Jayla said as she shrunk back into her seat. She'd been away from her brother for 2 years, and she was starting to find that he was getting increasingly unfeeling. A man who was unaffected by being cheated on by his fiancée. He truly seemed quite terrifying to her now. What do you know about the man who was with Natasha, Jayla? Tyler changed the topic. His Dustin Rhys, a medical practitioner. He lucked out and got a flower of crimson gem at an auction not too long ago. We had a little argument over that. Jayla told Tyler all that she knew about Dustin. After her disagreement with him back then, she ran a thorough check on him, but she found nothing out of the ordinary. The flower of crimson gem is quite valuable. I want it, Tyler said nonchalantly. Get some of our men to retrieve it, and get rid of the scumbag while they're at it. Sure thing. Jayla's eyes lit up instantly. She had been planning to exact revenge on him for the longest time. Now that she had her brother's support, she was sure she'd get things to go her way. On Dustin's way back, his phone rang. He took his phone out to see that it was a call from Dahlia. Dustin, where have you been for the past few days? I haven't heard from you for quite some time. I went to the medical center to see you, but Maximus said you've gone missing for several days. Oh, I've got some matters to attend to in Millsburg. I won't be back so soon, Dustin explained. Is that so? What a nice coincidence. I'm in Millsburg too. I just got off the train. I called to bid you goodbye, didn't expect you'd get here before I did. Dahlia sounded surprised. What are you doing here in Millsburg? Dustin was taken aback. The Nicholson family's business, Cardinal Group, is located here in Millsburg, so I've come to take over the position of chairperson, Dahlia told him. I see. Upon giving it more thought, it made sense for the company to be in Millsburg. After all, many elites were gathered here in Millsburg, so many huge corporations and enterprises chose to establish their presence and operations here. Shall we have lunch together? There's something I'd like to discuss with you, Dahlia invited. Sure. Where are we having lunch? Spice's Diner. All right. I'll be there in a bit. Dustin ended the call and told the chauffeur to head straight to Spice's Diner.